talked about Metro last week, and during this election season, we'll be bringing you different sides of the aisle and of the issues. Today, we start with a race for the 44th District Assembly, and the Republican candidate challenging incumbent Democrat Anthony Portantino, Brian Fuller, is here to talk with us. Thanks for going on cam with me, Brian.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's get right into the meat of the issues, the budget crisis in Sacramento.
Yes.
Who's to blame there?
I think you have to look at the fact that it's pretty much a situation where the Democrats were going to say, hey, we're going to push it to it. We're going to say, hey, guys, you got to do this. And the Republicans, to their credit, said, we're not rolling over. You're not going to give us new taxes. And I think that it was just poorly managed. 75 days out, it should have been handled. And I think they just didn't, they underestimated the Republicans' resolve to say, hey, we're just not going to yield on this. We can't have new taxes.
But the state suffers if the Republicans are holding out, which
well,
is what a lot of people say. The
Republicans have kind of come across as the bad guy, but in February they had put forward a bill, a stopgap measure that said if we find ourselves not having a budget, which seems to be a chronic issue, that we would still pay for the hospital needs, the Medi-Cal payments. But they wanted to use this political maneuver on the Republicans to put us in a bad light, and they underestimated the fact that the people were not going to accept a 1% increase in our sales tax and more taxes. I mean, we already have the highest taxes in the country.
All right, let's keep going. You're challenging Anthony Portantino,
yes,
incumbent Democrat,
yes,
out there like nobody's business.
Yes,
He's
yes,
at every
to
event.
his credit, yes, it is.
How are you going to unseat him?
Well, it is a challenge. I mean, incumbents usually get reelected 90%. He has the money advantage, $500,000, and he has the registration with him.
What are you running on?
And I am running on reform. I'm going to talk about gerrymandering as much as I can, because the situation is, if I win, that would be historic to overcome those odds. Mm-hmm. But I want to get the word out that we need to have reform when it comes to our gerrymandering. We need to get Proposition 11 passed.
Explain all that very briefly. Proposition
11 has been put on the ballot by the Common Cause, ARP, the ACLU, not exactly Republican friends, but the California Democratic Party is against it. And in essence, it would take the power of drawing the districts and give it to a citizens commission, like a jury, so that the legislature would not self-serve themselves, protecting their interests. It would actually go to the citizens, and the citizens would actually represent citizens. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a win-win there.
So if you could give me a list, what do you think are the most pressing things that the 44th is facing?
Well, education is always a major factor. I just heard that John Muir, we have a 55% dropout rate going on over there, which is a serious problem. We also have the situation with our traffic. It's usually the colorful argument is the 710. Are we ever going to complete it? But I think the fact that there's talk about taking the carpool lanes and turning them into toll lanes is a major issue for our folks out in Duarte.
For or against?
I'm against the thought of having toll lanes. I think that it's a maneuver to try to get more money from the federal government. I think it would be better if we can actually expand the capacity of it, rather than just using it as a ploy to get more money without really solving the problem, and in fact making it worse. So it really upsets me when they play those games.
I'm told to wrap, but if you can give me 10 seconds, on the national level, Sarah Palin energized the ticket?
Oh yeah, big time. I'm fired up. I think that everyone in the base are saying, hey, we need those McCain-Palin signs. So it really changed it. It was a game changer, and I think the country's better for it.
Okay, people can reach you where?
They can go to my website, fullerforassembly.com, or they can reach me at votefuller@mac.com.